What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Misguided Misfits pod. I'm trying to get comfortable. As always, it's your girl, Pebs.
And Isis.
And as you guys can see, I'm feeling like I'm in prison like Isis with this background. I'm at my father's house, so I'm in his office. Let me show you guys. You can see all of the 22 jerseys on the wall and all that jazz. So I'm in his man cave recording because by any means necessary, we were going to get this episode out for you guys. So first things first, I don't know if you guys saw it, but these people had a wedding and some people didn't show up and they had the nerve, the audacity to send a $250 bill. First off, let you send me a $250 bill. You shouldn't be paying $250 a plate or whatever for somebody to come to your wedding. Like, what kind of wedding we going to? Cause I'm not gonna lie, at my wedding we had barbecue. Yeah, we had barbecue. That was donated. Well, the food wasn't donated. I don't want y'all to think the food was not donated, but the what's it called when you cook it or whatever was donated to us. My husband slaved over a hot stove to make all the sides. I was not paying $250 for somebody to come see me get married. Like, having guests at your wedding is a privilege. Like, you're not obligated to come, and people have live stuff happen. Maybe they couldn't afford it, all of that. And don't get me wrong, don't RSVP if you can't show up or whatever. And if you know you're not gonna be able to come, like, at least let the people know or whatever, because it is expensive having a wedding, but it's super petty to charge somebody $250. Because if you can't afford your wedding, your guests should not be paying for your wedding. That's on you. You made the decision, have a wedding, and you also make the list of the people who come to your wedding. So don't invite your cousin second remove who you ain't talked to since high school because you're trying to get a free gift. Let's be real, because that's what it was. They should not have to fund your wedding, and we wouldn't be friends after that, or family or whatever. If you send me a $250 bill, we ain't friends, straight up, because I'm cussing you from here to Mississippi.
Yeah, I feel like it is super petty. I've only ever attended weddings and
That's
just from
depressing. You didn't have to say
what I have. I'm not sad. I wasn't saying that like in a sad way. I've only things.
You've also like been a part of weddings, so be clear.
Yeah, so I've been a part of weddings. Um as an adult, I can see why when you're a part of a wedding and it's your friend's wedding or somebody close to you, you kind of get all the details of what's going on. So I can see why they would be upset. It is super petty because you have to budget in. I feel like when it comes to like events like that, you have to budget in people not showing up.
Exactly.
Even if they RSVP, people are just some might happen, like you said. Sometimes people just decide they just don't want to go. They don't feel like it. Also, it's COVID. It's COVID is still out here.
I didn't even put that into effect. So that really changes the whole dynamic of weddings.
So it's like
smart.
Like you never know what could have been going on. Like, what if the people found out they had COVID and they were trying to be considerate and not come to your wedding and spread COVID to everybody? Or let me stop saying it so much because I don't want to stop by whatever we got going on. But
right.
But yeah, it's still a panorama. Like, no telling how many people she had at this wedding. Like, sometimes you gotta think about it. People, it's especially this time. Now I can see if it was 5 years ago. It's still super petty, but it's kind of like what stuff happened, but it's kind of like, okay, whatever. But like, it's a legitimate, like a really legitimate global thing going on right now.
Yeah,
which
and
we don't know what's going. I don't think I didn't read the article and it never. I don't know if it said like what was actually going on with the guests or whatever, the people that didn't show up. But it could very well be because they found out they had COVID, or they found out they were sick.
But
And
nobody even owes you a justification on why they didn't come to your wedding. Like, that no one owes you anything. No one cares. Like, if I could do it over again, and don't get me wrong, my wedding was beautiful. Like, shout out to my parents for really like making my day be perfect, and all my bridesmaids and all that. But if I could go back, I would have just took all that money for the dress, all that crap, and would have bought a house or went on a bigger, because we had a really nice honeymoon. Don't get me wrong, but like I would have had a bigger honeymoon, something, because for real, I don't even remember my wedding day. Like I remember like some of the little bits and pieces, but it was so stressful. It was like you getting pulled here, hugs. Remember that time? Like it was just a lot of stress. So for real, I would just, if I could do it over, I wouldn't even do it. But no one owes you nothing. It was a lot of people that showed up to my wedding that wasn't invited. And there was people that was invited that didn't come, and you have to eat that. Like it comes with the territory.
You have to, like I said, you have to budget in for things. And don't get me wrong, because this is going to be another racial statement that I'm about to say. But Black people, we know how we is.
Facts.
We know how our people is. I don't know if these guests was Black. The bride and groom was Black, right?
Yes.
So we know how our people are. Not all Black people, but a good, nice little chunk of them. They say they gonna come.
And not even just for weddings.
Yeah, it's for any type of event. You done planned and planned and planned. You've been telling them about this. You've been reminding them about this. And it's always somebody don't show up for whatever the reason is. So when you was making these plans during a panorama, and you already know how your folks, our Black folks is, you should have just already kind of budgeted that into your budget of it's gonna be people that don't show up.
Facts. And I want to put a sidebar because next year I'm turning 30. I'm super excited. Cue the fireworks. All my peoples, I don't want to hear nothing about y'all being broke. None of that about how y'all can't get off work, because I told y'all what we was doing. Literally the day, I pretty think the day of my birthday, I started planning my 30th birthday party. So, and I only got like a handful of friends anyway. But just know I'm shaking my ass in somebody else's country, and so is all my friends. So get it together. But anyway, sidebar. But guys, I won't. And ISIS is always the one that's like racially motivated and like, but but this clip that I seen, it was this African American anchor. He was in Mississippi covering hurricane. Is it Ida? I think it was Ida. Mm-hmm. I can't keep up with the names. And he trying to record, and it's this white guy like on the side, like saying like racial slurs and all that. He was being real professional. He said, yeah, we have, it is like a hurricane or whatever. And the winds and stuff behind him. He like, yeah, a lot of people, blah, 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 hurricane stuff. And he was like, yeah, some people are angry about other things. He was being real professional. So then the dude I'm watching the video. I'm like, is this dude coming towards him? He coming toward him. He said, I'm gonna send it back to you. And you could tell this dude was holding on to his Blackness as hard as he could, because he wanted to square up with this dude from Jump Street, but he like, look, I need my job. He was like, send it back to you. But you could kind of see him in I'm finna left, right, or whatever. And I want people to understand that, and I was talking to somebody about this, that freedom of speech is not free. Okay. Like they tell you that, is that the First Amendment? Yep. First Amendment. Being college educated. But literally they tell you that it's free, blah, blah. free does not mean free of consequences. You can say whatever you want to say. Like I and I can pretty much say whatever we want, but it does not mean that we free from the consequences of whatever words we put in the universe. So if you want to be out here and whatever, if you hate Black people, that's on you. But just know that these hands are free. Just let me know whenever you need these hands, because I don't know what that man name was. Bless that anchor man, because I wish that I could see what happened like 30 seconds after that clip. After the clip ended, I wish I could see what happened, because I know that if that dude pretended like he was swinging on him, dude laid him out. And I want him to. I really hope he did. And then I hope he still got his job, because y'all be really testing the envelope on what you think that you can say to Black people. And don't get me wrong, this is not the same group of Black people. The we shall over. Nah, that ain't it. We listening to Nuck If You Buck. That's what we listening to. Like, come on, bro. And I feel like even Martin Luther King was throwing some hands. They just didn't want to tell us, because I ain't Jesus and I ain't turning the other cheek. I'm just being 100 straight up.
Yeah, I feel like I think because obviously anchors get hassled all the time. Like this ain't the first time we just seen an anchor get hassled. And so I felt like when it first started, because it was an old white man and he was talking about report the facts, tell the truth, or whatever he was saying. And I'm like, this
we
man
literally
is
talk about a hurricane.
like, what are you talking about? And I felt like in that moment, because obviously you have to keep doing your job, but I felt like if when I'm looking at this, I'm saying, okay, this is some racial stuff. This is gonna get out of hand. I felt like the news people at the news headquarters should have just cut it.
Went back to the TV, to the other dude. Exactly. I shouldn't have to say go back to whoever.
Yeah, because so when it first started, you see the anchor guy was standing in one spot, and you could see the guy coming up behind him. So he moved and he went to another spot, but you could still hear the man on the side. So I'm like, my being like your job is never that important to where you risking your life, because nobody knows what that man could have had. That man could have had a gun. He could have. It's a hurricane outside. He could have just. They had a bad.
I just thought about that. It's an active hurricane. Do you know how psycho you have to be outside heckling in an active hurricane? Like, don't get me wrong, the Black dude get paid to be out there. Like,
and I'm just like, I felt like his even the camera person, I felt like nobody was kind of on his side. Like, yeah. I get it, because this is, like I said, this isn't the first time we've seen anchors get hassled about stuff, and they continue to report the news. And I feel like, but even some of the other videos I've seen, especially when it's like female anchors that get, and nobody says nothing, the camera person don't do nothing, and I'm like, so nobody, the news is this important? Whatever Sally Sue Mary Joe is talking about, is that important to where she is basically like risk? And it be little tiny little bitty women. Nobody on the news is a heavy set person or big, not even the men.
We need to fix tiny people. Because I'm so tired of them being so, your hair got to be like this and your body got to be like that and all of that. Like, get it together.
And I just felt like in that moment, the news people, the news executives, whoever, because they be watching it, I feel like somebody should have just turned it back to the news station and helped him in that situation, because y'all can hear the man on the side still harassing him.
Facts. But
So
they did say that since that clip has come out, the guy has been arrested, and supposedly he started again, y'all. As always, this is a Misguided Misfits podcast. So if I report anything that's false, please take everything I say with a grain of salt. But they like he.
I'm sorry, but if y'all hear like music and stuff playing, my neighbors is having like a birthday party or something
But
outside.
your
So
neighbors
they
getting lit. They
turned up.
always having a party.
Hey, even though I would not come, they still ain't invited me to all these parties they be having. I still, we ain't got invited to not nothing.
Side note, if I got the memo that we was wearing that shirt, I would have wore that shirt and we could have been matching. Because I definitely had a
shirt on before we even started filming.
Ma'am, I'm at my father's house.
Well, I didn't know I was wearing this shirt.
But I do love guys who are only listening to the audio, go over to YouTube so that you can see what we're talking about. But I like my shirt too. It's really like, for those who listen to the audio, it says I run on coffee, chaos, and cuss words. And anybody that's listening to this podcast or knows me personally knows that that's pretty accurate. So it is what it is. But guys, accurate. Wow. You didn't have to put me on blast like that. But so guys, I don't know why this topic was one of my most exciting things when it happened. Because, we have a plan for how we want the podcast to go every week. We try to have like a general topic, but then when life happens, it kind of steers what we want to talk to you guys about. And I want you guys to know that Trick Daddy never disappoints. Whenever that man opens his mouth, I know it's going to be something incredible. So as soon as I seen it, and I didn't even know what Trick Daddy was saying. I saw Trick Daddy, I clicked it because he was trending. I was like, first off, Trick Daddy ain't had a hit since. What's the last Trick Daddy song I can think of is Trick Daddy Love the Kids, which, can we talk about Suspect lyrics?
Or is that song before the I don't know what this world's gonna be?
All right.
This is a life for me.
Okay, because I'm a thug all day, every day. Bruh, hits.
I'm a thug.
But guys, and look, I want people to know that it's okay. Like right now in society, masculinity is so fragile that people are afraid to talk about what they're into, what they like. They don't want to be gay. They don't want anybody to feel like they're not manly. But baby boy, if you want to get your booty licked, just say that, okay? I'm not saying.
Not to cut you off, but I didn't fully read the story because once I got the gist of what it was about, I was like, I don't want to imagine him getting his booty ate. I don't
know. The funniest part about the entire interview, the dude was like, because I think this is his podcast or something, or like a radio show, because the guy who
got a radio show.
Yeah, so like him and the guy like always interact with each other. And he was like, so Trick Daddy, you ain't had your legs up in the air.
So he was talking about that's what he likes to have done to him.
Yes. So he says, he was like, not all the time. So imagine, picture this, guys. Sicily, 19. Trick Daddy with his legs. Hilarious. But again, I feel like you should be able to be into whatever you're into as long as you're not harming somebody that doesn't want to be, because certain people are into certain things. But as long as you're being safe and you and your partner are consensually doing whatever, like, that's fine. It is okay. It's okay. And don't get me wrong, I'm not doing that. Husband, if you're listening to this, that's a no for me, dog. But what?
The thing about it is that I agree with you. you are into whatever you're into. But have y'all seen what Trick Daddy looked like as of late?
Trick Daddy fine to somebody, okay? Somebody thinks that man is sexy. There's somebody out there for you.
Anyway, if viewers, listeners, if you have not seen what Trick Daddy looks like as of late, so recently, please go and Google that, because
we do have a video of Trick Daddy on our Instagram page. So go to Instagram and follow us at Misguided Misfits Pod. You can see all like the funny memes and any celebrity news that we feel like posting is on our Instagram. So we do have some pictures of Trick Daddy up there. So feel free.
That is what Trick Daddy looks like right now. And I just can't. He just don't look like he keep his booty cheeks clean.
Now that part is important. I really do feel like his booty ain't clean. I don't know why, but I do get that feeling.
That you have done, then I would think logically that you would keep your booty crack clean, but I feel like he does not. I feel like he one of them freaky deaky, but I ain't spread my booty cheeks in the shower type people.
Bruh, remember that? That was like a whole movement where guys were talking about they don't wipe their butt. I
mean, if you think about it, there's a whole lot of grown men out here that still has doo-doo streaks in their drawers.
Can y'all get it together?
Ages. Like, my thing is, you're in the shower by yourself.
Yes.
Who is seeing you clean, unless you in it doing, whatever you doing. But if the person that you with feels some type of way about you spreading your booty cheeks open to clean them, you need to reevaluate.
Yeah, because no. Please clean your booty.
Like, why? But back to Trick Daddy. It's just very uncomfortable to think about some grown woman, first of all, being sexual with Trick Daddy anyway.
No, so was it T.S. Madison? You sent me a clip of T.S. Madison talking about it, and she said that he packing the heat. So,
but it don't look clean. Like it don't. It looked like he got. It looked like he got lice and crabs in the clap.
Guys, this is all like speculative. This is just our opinion. None of these.
Saying that he does, because I don't know. I ain't never met Trick Daddy. I ain't never slept with him.
Let me find out you've been in Miami.
Just looking at him. Also, he's from Miami, Florida. We all know how they get down, especially with this pandemic. Because when nobody keep it, he just don't look like. He don't even worry about his own health. So you mean to tell me, as a grown woman, you agree to eating Trick Daddy booty?
ISIS really is concerned for the well-being of this alleged woman and her mental state.
It has to have been multiple women.
Yeah.
Because I can't. First of all, Trick Daddy coming up to me being like, "Hey, girl."
But how do you initiate it? Like, is it happening when you're already like there and you're like, well, we already there? Or is it like
some woman or whoever, whatever he's like, I'm just assuming women have had to just do it to him. Because I can't feel like he the type of man that was like, yeah, go ahead.
Like, I feel like what you like until you try.
Yeah, I feel like some woman probably snuck it up on him real quick. And then he was like, all right, I like that. Okay. But I physically would need to see him spreading his booty cheeks with a towel in hand. I mean, get it up in there because there's no way,
I can't wait.
no way that I'm meeting Trick Daddy out on the street and we go to his house and immediately do anything. Like,
Oh God, y'all, I'm crying real tears right now. This girl is hilarious.
and this is all alleged. I don't know. I'm just from my perspective of looking at Trick. That's like Flavor of Love. Like
Bruh, and it
he
was for real, like kissing that man. Maybe one day we'll have Delicious on the show, and when we blow up, and she could tell us.
oh, it got to be Tiffany. Tiffany still got. I feel like Tiffany still got the most love for him.
You
And
think so?
yeah, she's done interviews where like people asked her about it, and she was. I think I want to say I heard one of them. It was like she was like still got, not like in love with him like that, but like you know, apparently he got a. You,
Okay, but see, okay, so I feel like God ain't gonna like. He gotta bless you in one area or the other. Some people are blessed in both areas, but like, come on, God, don't give them a double whammy. Don't let them be ugly and small. Like that's kind of messed up.
Crunchy Black from 3 6 Mafia.
Yeah.
They all in that same category.
Yeah, true. Okay, so guys, I know we talk about Lil Nas X, and I love him. Get over it. We talk about him because he's so newsworthy. Like that man understands the assignment. He knows exactly what to do to get under everybody's skin, and it's hilarious. So if you guys haven't heard or seen, that means you're not following us on Instagram or Facebook. So get that together because we've been posting about it. So he had a special announcement on his social media that he was expecting, and he had an amazing maternity suit. What is it called? Not suit, shoot, and sent the internet into a frenzy, and is hilarious. Number one, I feel like Montero better be the best. I'm so excited because he got Elton John, Meg the Stallion, uh, Miley Cyrus, some other celebrities or whatever, musicians. I can't remember exactly everybody that's on the track list, but I'm super excited about because he can't lose. It's hit after hit, right?
Yeah, and this is his first studio album, right?
Yeah. Since he been out? He just been doing no, well, technically, he did the little Christmas album, but this is gonna be his first legit hip hop record. So, or hip hop country. I don't really know what genre, pop, what genre you want to put it in.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about Lil Nas X, but I also want to know, and this is gonna ruffle a little feathers because I talked about this with one of my friends, Boosie. Come real close to the microphone, Boosie. Listen to what we saying. You need a hug or something? Because he must have his notifications set whenever Lil Nas X posts something.
I promise you. I think on every platform that Lil Nas X on, that Lil Boosie on, he has the notifications.
Got to.
Alerts.
Got to.
He has got.
Because that man is his biggest fan. And I had I won't say an argument, but a debate. I feel like cis straight men talk about who gay men sleep with or what they do more than gay men talk about what they do. Because think about it, Lil Nas X is not even really talking about I'm smashing, I'm licking boot. He's not even talking about that. Y'all are talking about this. I'm like, Boosie, you're getting on my nerves. Like, sir, that man literally said, Lil Nas X is making it hard for men trying to be straight. Sir, if you gotta try, I got news for you.
He never was.
And what's the killer thing is it's okay. Hood niggas is so scared for somebody to think that they gay like that. Right. These gay men do not want y'all. That fear of like somebody being into you. First off, get over yourself because ain't nobody checking for you like that. Number two, get over yourself again because gay people ain't really checking for you. That's just like lesbian.
Number three, they don't want y'all neither because y'all don't open up y'all booty cheeks to wash them.
But for real, like let that man live because he gonna keep trolling you guys until y'all just act regular. Like that's why he doing it. He don't care about like you really think that Lil Nas X is really like he a regular dude. He don't even be he only do that just to ruffle y'all feathers because he know that if he posts something that he gonna get a reaction from y'all. So y'all just keep making him money, number one. And then I know Boosie listening to he listening to that. Bet you that's on his playlist because it's fire. Straight up. But speaking of fire, and I'm going to be mad controversial, Certified Lover Boy was not all that. I'm just keeping it a buck. And don't get me wrong, I love the album because, you know, I'm a Drake fan. I appreciate the album, blah, blah, skippy, skippy. But it took me to track number 5. And you guys know I talk about all the time that Jay-Z is my second favorite rapper. So it took Jay-Z to be on the track for me to be like, okay. And I feel like his album was missing something. It was like something I've already heard before. You know what I mean? And that goes for all these artists that keep recycling. Like I don't know. I just want something that just was like hit harder. It was okay. Like I'm not like, yeah, girl, turn that Certified Lover Boy. And Donda, don't get me wrong, love Donda. Donda was amazing. There were parts of Donda that could have been taken out, like 26 songs, way too much. Who you think you is? Like he could have took away half the album and it would have been an amazing album. They both broke a lot of records. You know, Drake broke the Spotify streaming record with like 100 and some million streams in a single day or whatever. Dope. Congratulations. But this Drake versus Kanye, number one, Kanye to me is not a diss rapper. Like he should never be in a beef with somebody because for real, if you listen to lyrically, all of that stuff, like Kanye, that's not what he's known for. You know what I mean? And I don't know if you've heard it because it just leaked earlier today. The Andre 3000 song is like Life of the Party. It's like a Drake diss with Kanye. Have you heard it?
You said it to me and I still didn't listen.
Because ISIS, I don't even know why we talk about music because ISIS don't even be listening to this kind of music anyway. But
look, okay, so I tried. I got to, I think song. I tried. I listened to like the beginning of Donda.
Don't this sound like a lie, y'all?
I did because I was on my way to work. So I listened to like the first part of Donda, and then I only listened to like a few songs of Certified Lover Boy. So,
bruh, the first song from Certified Lover Boy was like a poem that he was reading. And, you know, I don't know the cadence that he was supposed to be reading the poem, but I was like, am I having a stroke?
It was really offbeat.
And like all these people are so programmed to like whatever the society tell y'all supposed to like. Because I was just like, I'm waiting for people. They like Certified Lover Boy was better than Donda. And I'm just like, did we listen to the same? And people like, nah, you just from Chicago, so you gonna support. Bruh, I don't listen to what G Herbo. I don't listen to is Lil Durk. Is he from Chicago?
Mm-hmm.
I don't listen to neither one of them. So it ain't about me being from Chicago. No, that album was better to me. And it's my taste. And I get to like what I like. You get to like what you like. It is what it is. But the diss track, and it's super messed up because what happened, Andre 3000 just did like an article about it. You know, most of the time when you're doing like a music, a song or whatever, like they'd be like, hey, Ice, I want you to hop on this track, hear the beat. And most of the time, you may not hear the other verses until it's all like put together. You don't really know what the other people saying. So he was excited to be on Donda. He was like that he loved that it was a tribute to his to Kanye's mom, and because you know Andre 3000's mom has passed away as well. So if you listen to Andre 3000's verse, it's basically like, I miss my mom, I'm lost, I need guidance. Like he told Kanye's mom to see his mom in heaven, and you know, kind of one of those like sad, emotional type of deals. Then you get to Kanye, and it's like a diss to Drake, and I was like, this don't even go together. It's like peanut butter and mayo. Like what sandwich was we trying to create? Because it don't make sense. Like, and even Andre was like, I wish I would have known that he was gonna use my verse like this. Because he was like, yo, I ain't got no problem with Drake. He said, I wanted to be on Certified Lover Boy. And he was like, I want to work with all these people. He was like, I ain't got no beef with y'all, so don't put me in any of the beef that y'all have with each other. And I'm just like, what? I'm trying to figure out what the beef is other than, you know, him supposedly sleeping with Kim. And then I think that there was like a thing about a song that Kanye sent to Drake. He was like, hey, yeah, here go a song, this beat I got if you want it. And then Kanye like released the song or whatever using the beat like on purpose after he gave the beat to Drake. And I'm just like, bruh, y'all both too rich to
It's
be
just,
having this.
I feel like it's a lot of like behind the scenes beef that's going on. And I mean, granted, it's probably nothing that we really need to know about. Because I feel like if it really was the Drake slept with Kim thing, it would be more like somebody going sources always coming out about something about the Kim Kardashians. It's always some secret source. It's just like a whole lot of behind the scenes stuff going on, and that like I feel like because I like Drake, and like I said the last podcast or whenever that was, I haven't really listened to a Kanye album since college like the graduation album. Not like listen,
Bro, was
I
that
sat
like
and listened to his album.
2010?
I
No,
just
you're lying. You listen to Dark Twisted Fantasy.
no, I
That's
probably listen to like I probably listen to like the hits that came on the radio, but like sitting and listening to the album, no.
okay. The albums kind of obsolete, honestly. Unless you got a straight banger, ain't nobody sitting up to the album.
Drake album before this, I didn't listen. I've listened to probably more Drake albums than I have Kanye, but even like his last album he came out with, I didn't listen to it like that.
Y'all, I do not support this message that ISIS is putting on the airways because
Saying it's bad, I can't say it's bad or good because I haven't listened to it, but it's just not like some of the songs on it I like, but again, I'm not a music connoisseur, so
we
that's not
okay. So my goal with this podcast is to find out what ISIS is into. Because every time we talk to Isis, she's like, you know, I'm not really into TV. I'm not really into movies. I'm not really into music. We got to figure out what Isis is into before the.
because like I'm not like I can sit there and listen to a few Drake albums, but like his last one I just couldn't get through. I was just like this is too much. And then Kanye, I just haven't listened to nothing recently from Kanye. I can't.
Okay,
Not
I
my.
will say that Jesus is King. I think that's what it was called. That was a good album. And I don't really like a lot of like I don't listen to a lot of gospel music like outside of like church or whatever. But like it slapped.
I don't
Life of
either.
Pablo wasn't good, but
I felt like, well, the only song off of Life of Pablo that I liked was Father Stretch My Hands. Cause if your metro don't trust you, I must shoot you. Beautiful morning.
okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like if it's like a main hit off the song, off the album, I've heard it, but I don't know. It ain't my thing. But I feel like I was saying, like I feel like there's a whole lot of behind the scenes type of beat going on. But I feel like Kanye is kind of getting more of a the negative end of whatever's going
Mm-hmm.
on because Drake hasn't come out and said anything.
But
Even
that's the way to
when
win, though. That's literally the way to
yeah,
win is to say
even when
nothing.
Kanye put his address out there, he didn't say anything.
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly how you
So,
win a beef is to not, because the person gets more like what's it called, riled up when they feel like they can't get to you. So when you be going back and forth with trolls on the internet or whatever, all you doing is kind of feeding the fire. So if you just kind of just like let the fire burn, it'll burn itself out. And that's like in life, and that's in in all kind of aspects. And I really feel like that, and I don't think, and I can't speak from experience. I'm only speaking from watching both my parents lose parents, and um, I feel like that Kanye never really handled his grief, and he never really healed from it, and never really expressed. Because you got to kind of go through those phases. You get to be angry, and I feel like at some point, all your feelings are valid. You have to allow yourself to feel those feelings, but you can't live in the feelings. And that's what Kanye does. He does struggle with mental health or whatever, but he lives in his feelings. And I feel like he doesn't have the right people around him that aren't because you don't just tell me yes. You need to have people around you that are okay with being like, look, Ice, when you did that thing the other day, that was kind of messed up. Or like, hey, you probably shouldn't have said that. Or, you know what I mean? You can't just be around people that's going to feed you what you already feeling, because you're never going to grow as a person. And grief is one of those things that I feel like we don't talk enough about, because some days I wake up and I'm just like, yeah, I'm doing really well, and you can talk about the person and you can get through. But then other days, it can be like devastating still. You know what I mean? Like in the past decade, I feel like I have lost. Like you feel like why and all of this questioning and trying to deal with it, and then you like, well, is it too soon to move on? But then you can't move on. There's a lot of things that go along with dealing with grief, and I feel like Kanye has never truly. And I have never lost my mom, and I pray that I don't feel that feeling anytime soon. But you have to work through those emotions and understand that it's okay to be angry with them. Because, sometimes, especially with the way that his mom passed, and some people, you feel like you kind of were cheated. Because, like if somebody's sick or something, you kind of can prepare yourself. At least you preparing yourself, but that shit don't work. And, but when it's like sudden like that, you feel like you don't get the chance to say how you felt about the person or any of that. Because, um, my husband, and I don't know, I probably should have cleared this with him, but um, my husband's brother passed away. And what was strange to me about the entire situation, because my family is really close knit, I talk to my mother pretty much every day. And it's like foreign to me to think of, some families aren't like that. Some families don't like have parties, barbecues. Some families don't get together. And especially, if you guys been living under a rock, my husband is white. So the whole like funeral process was kind of weird for me because it was literally my first time going to a Caucasian funeral. And like the way that they had it set up, he passed away on a Tuesday and the funeral was already set on Thursday. We got there, they had like what they call a wake. And a lot of African American people, we don't have what they call a wake. We have the funeral, then we have a repast. But the white people, they had a wake, then they had the funeral, and then you just like go about your day. It was very strange. They ain't had it wasn't like, yeah, we grandma cooking, and I feel like for my husband, he didn't get closure because we didn't know that the brother was sick. We didn't know any of that stuff until maybe 2 days before he passed away. And he was like, he didn't want to see anybody. And when you don't get that closure, when someone dies, and especially if you feel like you did them wrong, that's when it starts eating you up, eating you up, eating you up. And I feel like you have to be like, hey, okay, this person is gone. Let me work through it. You got to work through the grief. You got to get over whatever mistakes you think you made in that person's life. You got to get over any wrong. You know what I mean? Because if you don't, you literally start like spiraling, and especially depending on like who the person is. If you guys can see, Isis is just like staring at me, and I'm like, I don't know why she's staring at me.
You were talking. What was I supposed to be doing?
You're supposed to say, yeah, I feel like,
Oh, I was letting you finish.
Bruh, because if you don't stop me, I've dealt with so much grief, and there's so much that I could tell the misfits about handling grief and what I've learned from having a lot of loss or whatever. But I also don't feel like crying on the podcast today. So
jump in then. So yeah, I feel like his mental, I don't feel like Kanye was ever like a very, and again, we don't know Kanye personally. Like just because we're from Chicago, we don't know him personally.
Right. Can y'all stop thinking that everybody from Chicago knows each other? Sidebar, but continue.
Really big city, very big. To get from one side to another can take a while. But anyway, so I feel like just from the outside looking in, his type of personality, he doesn't seem like a very open type of individual anyway. So trying to deal with loss in his life, it seems like he's the type of person that's just like, okay, well, he might cry a little bit, but then he might be like, all right, well, I'm good, I'm fine. And he might like push his emotions to the side or like kind of bury them. And it's hard, your mental illness on top of dealing with somebody that important to you passing away. It's just not a good combination. And he seems like he's just always on this like constant world. Like it wasn't that bad. I feel like his mental illness wasn't showing or that bad. I don't know the proper way to say it. Before his mom passed away, but like since she's passed away, he's had a lot of like crazy moments going on in his life. But all that to say is I really hope that eventually he does get the help that he really that he needs, whatever that may be. Again, we don't know the inside of his life. We don't know what's going on. Everybody keeps saying, he has mental health issues. So it may not be. Yeah, he got mental health issues, but that may not be it. That may just be his personality.
Yeah, that's true too.
But at the end of the day, whatever he has going on, whatever he's going through, I really hope that he can figure that out. And all these people that's in the industry that's supposedly his friends, like we had whatever incident he had going on, and all of them went to visit him, whatever he had went out to,
Yeah.
and
When he
you
was
know,
living on that like farm or whatever.
and now you don't hear nobody, ain't nobody seem like they too much concerned.
Yeah.
Again, behind the scenes stuff we don't know. They could be calling Kanye every day. We don't know.
Yeah.
But I definitely hope that he gets some people, especially because now he has kids. It's not
Yes.
like he's just out here and it's just him. And it's not like it's just him and Kim anymore. It's him, Kim, and their kids.
Mm.
Which their kids seem really fine. You know, it seems like Kim is kind of keeping their household intact. They don't seem like, you know, they little. So
Yeah.
not saying that they understand what's going on, but you know, they seem happy, they seem healthy. But you know, obviously as they get older,
That's
if
when
he
we really
doesn't,
gonna figure out what's
yeah,
really going on. And I really think that you hit on something that was like very important. You gotta watch people around you and how people react when good things are happening, because it's so easy to be somebody's friend when everything is good. It's very hard to be there for somebody when things aren't going good, because and that's the part, and that's the time that you need people the most. So I've always been very mindful of how people react or interact with me during the rough periods, because I'm the one that I feel like I'm like the biggest like support system for everybody. I do as much stuff. I'm the soundboard for people, and sometimes to my detriment. Like sometimes I'll take on people's problems and talk to people and boost them up when I'm like not good mentally. And Isis gets mad at me. She's like, "You can't help and save everybody. You, especially when it's causing you harm." She literally just said that to me like 2 days ago. I'm not gonna lie. And I think it's important to make sure.
go ahead, go ahead.
I feel like it's important to make sure that you pay attention to who is in your corner when times are rough, because that's the ones that you want to bring with you. Because everybody is not meant to come on your journey. So a lot of times we'd be like, "Oh my God, remember Ashley?" That's just a name I made up. I don't know nobody named Ashley that I'm like friends with. And we were best friends, and now I'm not. Like, if I ain't talked to you in over 6 months, I'm just keeping it a buck. I ain't thought about you. I ain't, you know what I mean? Like, it's those core people. You know, I have a solid team, bro. My team is like solid as a rock. Like, I really appreciate everybody that's a part of my like support system, because you guys have really like shown up and showed out, especially dealing with the last, like, I was at one point, I was just like, "Look, Jesus, I can't take this." Like, you know, they tell you and I feel like somebody made this up. God will never put on you more than you can bear. Did God say that? Or did we just start saying that? Can somebody message me in the comments and let me know like a Bible verse? Like, is that a real thing? Or is that something that we just came up with to make us not feel like our lives are shitty? Like, I really feel like somebody made that up, because sometimes I'd be like, "God, this load is a little bit heavy." So for real, I want to know if that's in the Bible or not.
I'm pretty sure somebody gonna spit out a verse for you.
Okay, I want to. I want to be educated. Let me know, because you know it's been a long time. I got dust my little, dust my Bible off. But for real, make sure you guys are taking care of your health. Make sure you guys, if you're dealing with something, do not feel like no one wants to hear or whatever. Like, don't feel like you gotta hold it in. Don't feel like you gotta struggle by yourself, because there's somebody, even strangers, that care about you, that'll check on you, that want to make sure that you're good, especially especially when we lose people, because you would think after the billions of years of however long the earth been around that we will be accustomed to like people dying and understanding, that, but it does not get easier. Like, it doesn't matter, like they're not in pain, like that shit do not make me feel any better. So like, make sure you're looking out for each other, because especially now with the panorama that we got going on, tell people, don't leave anything. Like, if you got something to say to somebody, if you want to call somebody, don't be like, hey, I'm gonna call them tomorrow. Call them. Look, pause this podcast. Call your cousin that you mad at from last week. Call your sister that you ain't talked to in 2 years. Forgive your mama for whatever she did when you was a kid. Forgive yourself for whatever you did or whatever, because life is like this little fragile butterfly, bruh. Like, think about it. We're going to be 30 next year. I can remember, I feel like I was just 21. Time is not stopping. It feel like the panoramic just started and we on like almost year 3. Y'all, time is not stopping for anybody. So whatever you need to do, whatever you want to do, if you want to quit your job, disclaimer, if you do anything or follow any of the advice I gave you, again, y'all always know this is the Misguided Misfits pod. So do it at your own risk.
But if you not quit your job until you have a new job, thank you.
No. Sometimes you got to step out on faith, okay? And I'm talking to myself right now. Sometimes you got to step out on faith and be like, F that job. You know what I mean? But
make sure you have a backup plan.
But
just don't be homeless trying to quit your job. That's all I'm saying.
And especially don't be in my DM saying, Pebbles told me to quit my job, so I'm quitting my job. But like, for real, life is too short. I feel like you should just go for whatever it is you want out of this life. But I ain't trying to be, again, I keep trying to tell you, I'm not trying to cry or get emotional or talk about in too much detail.
But I guess on a lighter note, excuse if y'all heard any of that going on in the background. Again, my neighbors are having a party. And they just played Charlie Wilson, I'm Blessed. So,
okay. Excuse that. Because some people, I'm talking about you, Sam, say that Chicago people only listen to one type of music. Yeah, I'm mad about that because we be listening to everything.
Also, another side note, I would like I don't know what it is when you say you are from Chicago, all these stereotypes just start rolling. And it's like, I feel like when people say like they from the South, okay, there are stereotypes when somebody tell you like, oh, I'm from the South. But also there's other thing that goes on in the South to where like you either think they like real hillbilly or like it's like the people that live in Atlanta, because they're different type of people, they're a little bit more affluent. Georgia's a little bit different. Like even New Orleans, they have a different like baby. But it's like when you say you from Chicago, all the negative.
Right. They be like, I can't believe you made it out. They bullets flying everywhere. And you be like, what are you even talking? It be people that ain't never even been to Chicago that's telling me about how my life was when I lived in Chicago. And we're not even for the record, we're not even in the top 10 most dangerous cities in the US. So can y'all stop perpetuating that or whatever? Like, Chicago is one of the most beautiful places. We got the best food. We got the best music. We got the best food, the best music, the best people come from there. Like, okay, so I don't know why. So Get Down, Little Mama been in my head all day. And if you're from Chicago, you already know, or It's Time for the Perk. Yeah, it's time for the perk.
House music, basically, is what we call house.
Bruh, say what you want about R. Kelly. Happy People been in my head all day. Like, people's like, literally Sam said, I feel like you try so hard to not accept any of the country stuff just so you can say that you're from Chicago. And I said, I don't care how long it's been. I've been in Alabama for 11 years now. And if you ask me, I'm from Chicago, and that's forever. My dad has been living in Alabama since the late 80s. And guess what? If you ask him where he's from Chicago, he literally has the CTA, the L train on his arm right here. He got 312, which we 773 over here, on his arm. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't go away. You Chicago forever, okay? I'm just saying.
So, and if y'all feel that much disdain for Chicago, please stop visiting. I don't want to see nobody Snapchats and Instagram stories.
Right, at the Bean, at the Sears Tower.
And all this that y'all sure do like visiting here.
Don't eat no mild sauce when you come.
Flying.
You can't handle Giordano.
Don't get no mild sauce.
Look, no socks, hats. We don't wear that no way. It's Cubs Nation.
Like in the South, bro, they be having on the Bulls. I'm like, I ain't never been to Chicago. The Bulls ain't even a team right now. Y'all win this stuff.
I'm at work today, and I see this girl. She had on a hoodie, and it said Chicago on it. And I saw it. I said, I bet you she ain't never even been to Chicago. So my coworker, he was like, really? You being real petty right now. I was like, I'm not being petty, but I'm just saying.
Well, that's kind of like, because, okay, so this is really off subject, and we have really gone over our usual time right now, but I'm going to say this. That's kind of like, okay, nobody doesn't know. Football in the South is college football. Like, that's the big thing.
And today's the first day.
Yeah, like the NFL is, like, it's a lot of southern states that have NFL teams, but for the most part, college football is like the pinnacle of sports for them down there. And if people don't know about history, most of these universities, when they first started out, the southern schools started off with white people. Not a black person in sight was allowed on these campuses, where all these black boys are winning football games for them. But that's neither here nor there. But like, people be real, like, so UA, which is University of Alabama, is one of the big teams. Auburn University is a big team, and some more stuff like LSU, like
Georgia, Florida.
These schools, I ain't never been to this. It's different when you rep in an NFL team, because a lot of those players come from different places all over. So that's a little bit more understandable, because these players come from all different cities, states. They come from different places. They're not all located in this one state. Which with college football, obviously, you get a lot of people coming from different places. But most of the time, most of these people live in that state or that city. Most of these kids going to that school. But people be repping these schools, and I'm like,
people be getting killed and everything.
But it be black people, and I'm like, y'all do realize not too long ago, not a black person was allowed to be on this campus, right? And when they only had 3 buildings.
People, like, literally, when you move to Alabama, and this is no joke, and then after this, we finna get to the Misfit Minute, we promise. But when I moved to Alabama from Chicago, they was like, Alabama or Auburn. And I'm looking like, what are you even talking about?
First of all, I don't even follow sports, period.
Now, I'm a sports fan. My father and I kind of really bonded over sports. So I'm into all the sports, you know what I mean? But I was just like, I don't care. And then I went to University of Alabama at Birmingham, UAB, and we've been trying for years to be separated from them, because, it's a whole bunch of, we can talk about that for days. But I'm like, I rep the school that I went to, because, that's normally what normal people do. Why am I repping a school that I never even went to? That makes no sense.
It would be people on campus with Alabama jerseys on. I mean, Alabama hoodies on. And
Sir.
granted, UAB and UA are under the same school's umbrella, but they are two completely different universities. Two completely different. They both are PWIs, but
I was
they're
like, what?
both.
First off, I was finna say, but I know.
Yeah, so they're both like completely different schools, and it's like the disrespect. Although
It's
I'm
a
not gonna
cult.
lie,
It is a cult.
it is, and it's like people be like, it's weird to me, like for real.
Bro,
It's
people
really
be about
weird,
to fight.
and it's really sad. Like unless your kid go there or you went there, or I can even see if you grew up around the university, like people who
Live in
live around the
Tuscaloosa, live in
university.
Auburn, yeah.
That's different. But when you ain't never stepped foot on these people campuses, they don't even want you on their campus. How about that?
Ain't never been.
Unless you kicking the ball,
Unless you,
putting it in the
let's just
hoop.
say, you've been to a game. At least been to a game. It's people that ain't never even been to a game.
All you doing is on
Making these
TV.
schools money like crazy. But guys, we didn't went way left. I'm sorry. You know how we get. But as always, make sure you guys are following us on social media. We got TikTok, we got Instagram, we got Facebook. What else we got?
YouTube.
We got YouTube now, so we got people watching the videos and we got people that's actually listening. So make sure you're sharing it with all your people, you know what I mean? Also, we working on some new, you saw the shirt that Ice had on. We're working on some beanies. We're working on a lot of different merch. So if you guys want to rep the Misguided Misfits, it'll be on my website. It'll be on Ice's website. Hopefully, I'm trying to pull for the end of the month to get everything ready, everything designed. That way we can have time to put on our website. And Ice's website will be up. We're doing good.
Thank you very much.
So, as always, make sure you guys are following Bedrock Cosmetics. That's Bedrock Cosmetics on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at www.bedrockcosmetics.com if you guys want to shop. I'm also on Etsy as well. We're going to be having a little bit more like crafty things on our Etsy page. Use code Bedrock20 if you want to save 20%. And yeah. I don't know if I'm doing a Labor Day sale. We drop on Monday. So if I'm feeling froggy, I might do a Labor Day sale. So make sure you follow us on social media to stay, up to date on that.
And also follow us on Lavish by the Bundle on Facebook and Instagram, as well as we have a TikTok. We also do have a Twitter, but that is at Lavish by the BDL. And you can always shop on www.lavishbythebundle.com. Please get all of your hair essentials.
Yes, I'm so ready for a straight wig. I want rainbow. I'm addicted, guys. And I'm not just saying that because it's my favorite. Like for real. For real.
Yeah. And I'm really excited because I'm about to get some more hair for these events coming up that I have coming up in September.
Then can I tell them? I'm gonna tell them because if I tell them, then that'll make her have to do it. We finna have Lavish by the Bundle in stores, baby. I'm super excited. We'll give you details when we actually have the info, but I'm super proud of my best friend. And I just wanted to, let you guys know if you're in the Chicago area, you're going to be able to, get your bundles and stuff, a little plug.
Be disappointed.
I promise. Because you guys, how long have I had my hair done? And it's been almost, has it been a month? No, it hasn't been a month yet, but it's almost next week. It'll be almost a month because I got it on the 14th. So we've been doing good, guys. I don't flat iron it. I don't do nothing because y'all know I'm lazy. I literally brush it and Keep it moving. My lace ain't glued down, none of that, girl. And I'm still having, look at that. Ooh, swinging those body waves. Yeah, it's honestly no maintenance. If I can do it, anybody can do it. For real. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. As always, we appreciate you guys. We love you guys. And we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.